The entire crypto market has dropped $2 trillion in the past 8 months. People are taking their Bitcoin off of exchanges, but miners continue to let us know that they think that Bitcoin fundamentals are here to stay, and they're doubling down on mining Bitcoin and keeping it for the long term. In this video, let's break down exactly what's going on in the cryptocurrency space. I got some articles I want to break down for you guys, so let's hop right into it. So this one says, despite the price drop, numbers of Bitcoin held on exchanges continues to slide. Basically, this article goes on to say that people are taking their crypto off of exchanges, which is understandable. Typically during a bear market, people take their Bitcoin and other crypto off of the exchange because these exchanges can go bust. We saw what happened with Voyager. We saw what happened with multiple other exchanges. They go bankrupt, partly because it takes a lot of money and a lot of liquidity to run an exchange, right? If you don't have a lot of investors, if you don't have a lot of people trading Bitcoin or buying Bitcoin, paying the fees, you're gonna go out of business. This article goes on to say that Bitcoin reserves on exchanges declined from an aggressive number of withdrawals. Basically, these exchanges are running out of Bitcoin. It would be just like everybody going to the bank and withdrawing all their money at once. The bank doesn't have enough money to give you guys all the money at once. That's why there's either a cap of how much they can give you at one time, or you have to wait several weeks to get your money. Same thing with these crypto exchanges. They don't have enough Bitcoin, and a lot of people are taking the money out of the market because there's fear and greed out there. Bitcoin's down 69% since its all-time high, which is a great time to buy, but for these exchanges, it's gonna be hard to stay liquid and keep funding all these trades without having enough Bitcoin reserves on tap. Glassnode goes on to say that there was a massive amount of Bitcoin removed from centralized trading platforms in June. Despite weak price action through June, Bitcoin has been withdrawn from exchanges at the most aggressive rate in history. Glassnode said total exchange outflows in June peak at 151,000 Bitcoin per month, with shrimp and whales as main receivers, the analytics team added. I'm not great at reading, but basically going by this data, going by these analytics that these people are talking about, last month was the worst month for Bitcoin in terms of people taking the money out of the market. That's understandable. But this is a massive opportunity for any of you guys who understand the fundamentals of Bitcoin. So let's go into the next article that talks about Bitcoin's fundamental value is not in line with the market price. Basically saying, it doesn't matter what Bitcoin price is. The value of it is much, much higher. So it doesn't matter that these prices are going down. The Bitcoin miners are definitely here to stay. And he goes on to say, besides having to deal with lower prices, many market participants, including Bitcoin miners, have had to contend with the elevated risk of becoming insolvent. These miners are running into the same issues as the exchanges. There's not enough Bitcoin on hand. It's costing them more to mine the Bitcoin. So they are running into this problem. Do I turn my machines off and wait until Bitcoin's price is higher, or do I keep them on and still have this trickle coming in? They go on to ask these miners questions like, for example, what has been the impact of the depressed crypto prices on Permian's chain's operations? Basically asking this miner, hey, like, what's the effect on your operation? And the guy goes on to say, Permian chain will continue to mine Bitcoin regardless of market prices. That's very key to understand. Headlines and market conditions change, but fundamentals really rarely change. The fundamental value behind Bitcoin is what we are in the business for. So even though people are selling their Bitcoin off of exchanges, they're taking the money out, these Bitcoin miners are still convicted and they're still gonna be backing the chain. This is very important because not every project has this type of miner conviction as Bitcoin. Having people support the network, support the chain, and back Bitcoin, even though 69% of its value has been lost this year in a matter of months, that is very key. So in times like these, reading these articles, it reinvigorates my conviction in the space and in crypto in general, because when you look at some of the analytics on the exchanges with how much Bitcoin they have on hand, it's not a lot of money. And they don't want you to know that because they want you to keep your money on the exchange, continue to pay fees, etc., etc. But if I've said it once, I've said it 100 times, take your money off the exchanges, custody it yourself. That's the whole point of Bitcoin and crypto, is custodying your own funds. I want to leave you guys with this. Basically, around May, there was $73.7 billion worth of Bitcoin on exchanges. Now there's only $47.5 billion on exchanges. In a matter of 2 months, the supply of Bitcoin on exchanges have been cut in half. This article goes on to say that Coinbase is the largest exchange in terms of BTC reserves. In my opinion, if you go ahead and keep your money on the exchange, keep your Bitcoin on the exchanges, the best exchange right now is FTX. Not only because Sam Bankrupt-Fried is aggressive with his marketing and he's taking market share from a lot of people, but he has a lot of Bitcoin reserves and he has the money to stay solvent through this bear market. Not a lot of places do. So Coinbase and FTX are the best ones. If you want to purchase Bitcoin on FTX, click the second link in the description. If you buy $10 worth of Bitcoin or any crypto, you're going to get a free coin. So make sure you go and sign up for FTX using my link. And I want to thank FTX for allowing me to offer you guys that deal. So go in the second link in the description and sign up for FTX. I would greatly appreciate it. With that said, guys, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on my future news updates. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.